In the animal kingdom, an opossum is an animal that chooses to play dead whenever it's faced with certain fear of death. Manchester United tended to exhibit some of the tendencies of an opossum because they looked as though they were playing dead for most of the first half. As a matter of fact, they went through the whole first half without a shot on goal. Not even just a shot on target, without a shot on goal. Liverpool were extremely dominant in the first half that should have yielded at least 2 or 3 goals. Their profligacy was punished in the second half when Manchester United, with a quick 1-2 punch, were able to go 2-1 up and looked certain to win the game until towards the end, when Manchester United inevitably shot themselves in the foot again when Aaron Wan-Bissaka conceded a needless penalty kick to give Liverpool a chance to still have one hand on the trophy that they are trying to get before the end of Jurgen Klopp's reign at Liverpool. Now, Manchester United is a team that confounds many. They are a team of moments. They might look like world beaters in 5 minutes, and the next 5 minutes look as though they have no idea what they're doing in that pitch. Erik ten Hag also has this knack of making some in-game changes that do not help their cause whatsoever. But I can't really blame them, because when you look at Manchester United's bench, it is laid bare with youngsters today, some of who I have no idea who they are. When you look at Liverpool, on the other hand, they are a team that always give their best under Jurgen Klopp, and in a game that they really should have won, quite similar to what they did in the FA Cup, they came a cropper. Now, I don't want to look as though I'm the smartest guy on earth. I did predict a 2-2 draw, but it's almost because I've been seeing some tendencies in both Liverpool and Manchester City, and sometimes in Arsenal, of teams that have this ability to be fallible towards the end of this season. Now, at the moment, it's a clear sprint to the end. Arsenal are looking as though they are unbeatable right now. They're not conceding any goals. Manchester City are still the same dominant side, but they have a little bit of a frailty in conceding some goals. And Liverpool have the Jurgen Klopp factor, and you can never want to write them off when it comes to finishing off a season in the same way that they've been able to finish in seasons past. They have been Manchester City's constant threat in the last few years, and it would be stupid to rule out any chance of them repeating that feat and going one further this time by claiming the trophy. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Izzy, and if you're new to the channel, you know exactly what to do. Please hit that like and the subscribe button to let YouTube and everybody else know that you're enjoying this content. Going into this fixture, Manchester United were definite underdogs. Liverpool are favorites to win the Premier League title, and you can see why. They have an attacking display that is second to none other. They were able to make Manchester City look very ordinary a couple of weeks ago, and they were headed into this game top of the table. Opta analysts have Liverpool as the title favorites, and I, for a very long time, also have had them as favorites. Now, I did say in my review yesterday of Arsenal's game that I'm going to go back and I'm quite possibly going to change some of my views on how all three teams are going to finish the season. But going into this game, a lot of people had Manchester United as firm underdogs, but the way Manchester United tend to play is a very unusual way, and they don't seem to coalesce very well when they're playing. Sometimes they manage to do it in small bits and fits, and at the start of this game, they almost made Liverpool pay when Garnacho was not able to hold on to an offside line that was held by Liverpool, and they missed the opportunity to go ahead when Garnacho did eventually score, but it was ruled out for offside. Liverpool took that threat seriously, and after that, they exercised complete control in this game. So much so that Manchester United did not have another sniff at Liverpool's goal for pretty much the rest of the half. As a matter of fact, they had no shots on target. Liverpool completely shut down Manchester United. And if it wasn't for Liverpool's own profligacy, they should have been at least 3 or maybe 4 goals up in that first half. Such was the dominance of Liverpool that was unfortunately only gifted by the fact that Luis Diaz was able to put them 1-0 ahead after some very good work from the corner kick after a deft layoff from Darwin Núñez that landed at the Colombian's feet, and he was able to put the ball in the back of the net to give Liverpool a very deserved 1-0 lead at that moment. Manchester United were a shambles in that first half, and for me to call them an opossum is being very light. Manchester United did not attack Liverpool with any fervor whatsoever. They were very dormant, very docile. They tended to try and play the ball in their own half, and they weren't really able to fester anything that would give them an opportunity to attack Liverpool. Liverpool, on the other hand, were extremely profligate. The likes of Mo Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai had opportunities to put them up further than that 1 goal, but they were unable to do that. And when they were going in at halftime, Jurgen Klopp would probably have been happy with his display, but not so happy with the fact that they missed so many chances. And this is something that has been coming back to bite Liverpool for a very long time. And I said it before when it comes to Liverpool, that this inability to square a lot of these chances off in the first half is going to come back and bite them. Some of the teams that Liverpool are going to face, especially in this run-in, is going to be a lot of tough teams away from home. They're going to have fixtures such as Everton and Fulham, where if they don't take those opportunities, they could easily turn into draws. Now, at this particular point, I still think Liverpool is strong enough to win those away fixtures, and the only fixture that I'm really afraid of for Liverpool towards the end of the season is that Aston Villa game, where depending on where Aston Villa are on the table and how close they are to Tottenham, they might give them an almighty scare. But in the second half of this game, Manchester United decided to wake up. All of a sudden, it felt as though the tackle from Kambwala, when he was able to supersede Nunez in trying to defend his goal, seemed to stir up something in Manchester United, and they then ended up having an inexplicable chance gifted to them when Kwanzaa was trying to square the ball back to Van Dijk, and his misplaced pass ran into the path of Bruno Fernandes, who with a one-time exceptional shot was able to beat Kelleher right on the spot. And Manchester United were now level, 1-1, with no idea how Liverpool were able to squander this lead so early in the half. For whatever reason, Manchester United decided to wake up. Now, the game became something similar to a basketball game. The game was back and forth, and this was going to suit Manchester United because now they had some spaces to exploit in the Liverpool half. Liverpool were now also uncharacteristically shaky, and they were giving up as many opportunities as they had given up in all the game in the next 5 to 10 minutes. And it wasn't before long that Liverpool had their own chances to be able to go ahead. Darwin Núñez inexplicably failed to square the ball back to Szoboszlai, and his chance went a-begging past the near post. Immediately after that, Manchester United seized on the opportunity to punish Liverpool. Kobbie Mainoo, who started an opportunity close to his own half, was able to punish Liverpool with one deft swivel around his axis and unleashed a beautiful curler which Kamin Kelleher was unable to save. Manchester United had now gone from 1-0 down to 2-1 up almost in the blink of an eye. In between that, Liverpool still did have as many opportunities that they had in the first half, and they just weren't able to take advantage of them. But just as I said before, Manchester United is a team that doesn't need to play well in the whole game. We've seen it in so many games so far this season, games against Wolves, games against Brentford, where they barely and scarcely deserved anything from the game and somehow wound up winners or tying the game, as was in the case of Brentford last week. Eventually, Liverpool did grow back into the game, and after that, Manchester United sat back, and inevitably they were going to concede something. But Liverpool did look frail at the moment, and they were unable to take care of most of the chances that they had. And most people at that point thought that if Manchester United were able to hold off, this would make the title chase more intriguing. Not that it didn't make it more intriguing because the game ended up as a draw, but the fact that there was more jeopardy meant that Liverpool had to take more chances. And they were inevitably given their chance later on when Wan-Bissaka tackled Elliott in the Manchester United penalty area, gifting Liverpool a penalty. Mo Salah, who took off the frustrations of being substituted in midweek, was able to dispatch of the penalty pretty easy, and at that point we had a 2-2 draw. All smiles on the other half of Manchester and in London, where Arsenal were hoping for a draw, and so were Manchester City. For the rest of the game, Liverpool and Manchester United both shared some chances, some half chances, some that eventually were being saved, like the last one when Elliott was able to have a shot, but it ricocheted all the way to the safe hands of Onana. Now, where does this leave Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool? Well, Manchester United is pretty easy. They are trailing the teams that are in 5th and in 4th, and it's looking very hard for them to try and make that Champions League spot. The best that they can hope for right now is some humongous collapse from Aston Villa and from Tottenham, and I don't think that that's going to happen. So Manchester United are probably going to have to be comfortable in 6th place. But they have a small victory in preventing Liverpool from taking full points against them so far this season. They were able to eliminate them from the FA Cup, and they tied both games in the league. So a small victory there for Manchester United in being able to take points off of Liverpool and changing the course of the Premier League title race at the moment. As far as Liverpool, this does hamper them somewhat. And one of the fears that I had coming into this game when I made my prediction yesterday was that the game that was going to be played at Old Trafford was going to be like no other. Manchester United and Liverpool share a rivalry that supersedes anything that is the Premier League title race right now. It is more about bragging rights between both fan bases. As far as Arsenal and Manchester City are concerned, this was the perfect result for them. It brings back Manchester City from being 3 points behind Liverpool, and it makes Arsenal now top. And while a lot of people do not believe that Arsenal can run the course because they have a very tough run in, Arsenal themselves can only control what is in front of them by putting the title chase in their own destiny. And that is exactly what they're going to be looking to do. Manchester City are going to be very happy because they have been in this position before. This is not the first time that they've been chasing Liverpool or Arsenal. And so they can look at both of them as being only 1 point ahead of them and feeling very confident in the fact that they have the players and, most importantly, the manager who has seen it, done it, and is not going to be fazed by just a point from being behind Arsenal and Liverpool, who they have both dominated in seasons past. But at this particular moment, Liverpool will feel as though this was 2 points dropped, because it definitely was. They played much better than Manchester United, and that is no question, because limiting Manchester United to no shot at all in the first half is not the easiest thing to do, because they still have Rashford and they still have Bruno Fernandes, they still have Garnacho, who are very talented players. So that should be something that Liverpool can look back at and say that we had a very good performance. But they still should have gotten all 3 points. When I made my determination the day before that this would be a 2-all draw, I did not have a crystal ball in front of me. I just feel as though Liverpool have a fallibility about them, and the same thing that has been spurring them to win this Premier League title might be the same thing that might cause them to have a small collapse. And that is the pressure of trying to deliver for Jurgen Klopp. Now, a lot of people are looking at it from a sweet point of view where Jurgen Klopp is leaving, and so they want to give him the trophy, and that should will them to the title. But at the other side, you can look at it as being something that might hamper them, because in wanting to deliver it so much for Jurgen Klopp, that adds an extra layer of pressure in them to try and play better or to not make as many mistakes as they did today. And they only made 2, and those 2 were punished because Manchester United do have the players to be able to punish those types of opportunities. Now, with Manchester United, we do not see any discernible level of play or style of play. They tend to have these moments where they can switch on and punish the teams, and then almost in the same breath look as though they were going to lose the game. We saw that a couple of days ago when they lost to Chelsea, when they really should have won the game, coming from behind and then somehow contriving to lose the game by going behind with the latest defeat in Premier League history. So at this point, what I'm going to say is that Liverpool are definitely still in it. Arsenal is still in it. Manchester City are still in it. All of them still strongly believe that they can win the title. This is going to be hard for Liverpool, of course, because they should have won the game, and they'll look at it as though this is something that they should not have relinquished. But in next week, they have an opportunity against Crystal Palace to play ahead of Arsenal and to put more pressure on the Gunners, because as we can see right now, a lot of the teams that tend to play before the others have a slight advantage, because at least they can determine their destiny before having to watch another team go out there and deliver. But at this point, I'm so happy with the title race. It's interesting from a neutral standpoint, but even from a personal standpoint, Arsenal are top of the table, and that is something I'm not going to sniff at. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think Izzy has a crystal ball and willed Manchester United to win the game today? No, I didn't. Manchester United were always going to be capable of causing Liverpool some problems, and today they managed to do it. Now, they still have one more chance to influence this Premier League title when they face Arsenal a couple of games before the end of the season, and that should also be a tasty fixture, because Arsenal and Manchester United don't like each other, and I'm pretty sure Manchester United are not going to try and do Arsenal a favor. But Arsenal are a good team, so are Manchester City, and crucially, so are Liverpool. Anyway, guys, that's it for right now. It's your boy Izzy. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to have a video where I'm going to reveal who I think is going to win the Premier League title. I know it looks as though I was leaning closer to one team than the other two, but I'm going to try and have a more statistical viewpoint as to why I'm going to come to the decision that I have come to right now as to who I think is going to win the title and who I'm going to stick with, win, lose, or draw towards the end of the season. It's your boy Izzy. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, peace.